Oh, we live.
We are live. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Black Girl Chit Chat. I am Dawkins-Haigler. We have with us Kimberly Carter and Teresa Hardy, and we are ready to get into conversations today. Ladies, how was your day?
It was a day. Had a rough day today.
Okay, you had a rough day today. Well, do you want to talk about it, or are is this personal or is it business?
No, I could actually tell you. Well, today we actually attended the Stone Mountain Memorial Association Board meeting today to hear what the new chair was going to propose as it relates to the changes for Stone Mountain. Well, we get there and the CEO makes proposals, and the proposals have nothing to do with real change as it relates to the park. So we all got a chance to actually express ourselves during the public comments. And of course, I let him know that we were not going to accept those recommendations. And so we will be there every month until we make real change. And you do know that a lot of the hotels, they have went from $49 million in revenue down to $22 million. And a lot of the contracts will not be renewed because they do not want to deal with the unfriendliness of what's going on with this park.
Interesting. So basically, you're telling me that they met today and said that they're going. What are they going to do? So let's back up. So everyone who's not from Georgia, let me tell you what's going on a little bit right here. Okay, so in the state of Georgia, we have an authority that looks over state parks. And so in Stone Mountain, Georgia, I mean, you might have heard about it in the past, we have Confederate monuments in Stone Mountain Park, but we have this big, huge mountain, kind of like Mount Rushmore, but except it has Confederate soldiers on it. So basically, Teresa went to the meeting today, and because she's president of the NAACP, she's kind of giving us a breakdown of what happened in the meeting today. And they have a new president, new chairman of the authority, and he is a black male Republican. So what does he say about this whole entire ordeal that's going on with Stone Mountain? Is he for bringing down the?
He didn't even speak on it. He didn't speak on it, and that's my concern. My concern is he didn't, as the chair, did not speak on it. What he did say is, there's a lot to be done, and we need to be patient. Well, we've been patient for many years now, and he's been on the board long enough to know that I don't think he understands that there's no more patience in this. And he being named as the chair, being the first African-American, I don't know how much more patience he wants to happen with this. We know what the changes that are needed, and he needs to start putting them on the agenda. The problem has been that they've never been on the agenda for discussion. And that's what we've been asking for the last year. We've been working on this just to put it on the agenda for discussion. Now, this board, there's 9 people on this board, and we now have a chairman that's one is black, and then they added another black male, Christopher Sanders, on there. So now you got 2 blacks, 7 whites. But it doesn't have to be about black and white on this. It's just time to do right. And the fact that we got a chairman that's black, I think there was high expectations that a change is going to come, but that's not how it works, because you have to actually you have to please the board, and you have to have the votes. And if you didn't have the votes before, I don't see how we're going to have the votes now to make those changes. That's just my opinion.
Okay, well, I hope y'all are sharing the live feed so people know that we're here.
Yes,
so do you think that Governor Kemp appointed a black man, Republican, there so he could shut up the black people across the state who want to bring down that monument?
I think he did it to please black people. But what he doesn't know about us is we also know that everybody that you put in a position, and just because they're black doesn't mean that they have the same values. So we want to make sure that we understand, and we were listening. We were there to listen to the new chairman. But if he doesn't have, I don't understand what his vision is. And I think that's what I have to learn a little bit more about the chairman to understand where is he trying to go with this. Stone Mountain is in a fix, and he has to talk and get some new sponsors and some more donors, some more businesses to actually come back to Stone Mountain. The businesses have already said that they're not coming back as long as we have those Confederacy issues. So
okay, so that means we need to do more organization. You're going to tell us what all we need to do as it relates to taking down that trash that's in Stone Mountain Park, correct?
yes, the three is really three things that we asked for. One, we need to restructure the carving. Two, we need to change all the signs, remove the flags, change the street names from the Confederacy names. And then the last one is repurpose the whole park. Everybody wanted to be a family park for the state of Georgia that represents the state of Georgia. Then that's what we need to do.
Okay, because a lot of people may not know that there are Confederate flags that are at the base of the park, as well as all the streets are named after Confederate generals. People may not know that, so that's good to know. So we'll keep our eye on that. Now, honey, fashion was on last night, honey. Our own Kimberly Carter, baby. If y'all don't know Kimberly Carter, you have to follow her page. When I tell you that she gives you the rundown, baby, of everything that happens that is culturally important, and especially with things like the Oscars, the Emmys, and Grammys. Honey, Kimberly, I'm turning it over to you. What was good? Tell us the highlights of the Oscars last night.
Well, since we're talking about the Oscars, we're actually talking about winners. When we're talking about Stone Mountain Park, we're actually talking about losers. And so the reason why the park needs to go is because we do not celebrate our losses, nor do we celebrate the idea that there is victory in racism and hate and bigotry. And so if there is any other reason why the park needs to be repurposed, it's because of what we have decided that we are going to celebrate. Now, I'll be frankly honest with you. I thought that the COVID red carpet of the Oscars was trash. There are very few things that, very few pieces that I even remotely commented on this year. As a matter of fact, normally I do commentary on every show, whether it's MTV Awards, BET Awards, the BAFTAs over in in the UK. I do the comments. I love the red carpets. I've always loved fashion, but I detest these COVID award shows. And to be frankly honest with you, the DNC convention was better than last night's Oscars. But I will say this: Angela Bassett, mother, never disappoints. She was ethereal in Valentino Red. Stephen Yoon and his gorgeous wife Joanne they did not disappoint. He was in a custom Gucci tux. I have already started spinning it around social media that he's going to be our Asian James Bond. Idris,
he would be.
If you're going to be Black James Bond, boo, come on. We're waiting, right? But Stephen Yoon, I think he's amazing. Everyone who loves Walking Dead series are just, in love. We've got Domingo, who was hosting, who was in hot pink, oat pink, just rocked the red carpet. Just so many fabulous looks from our people, just from all people last night. But those are just a few of my highlights. And our sister Regina King looked absolutely amazing. She is replacing Elsa in Frozen, honey. She is the ice.
Yes, honey.
She was us ice from Louis Vuitton. Her dress was by Louis Vuitton. And then Forever Mark diamonds, because she's a brand queen. I'm expecting her to be releasing a line of diamonds because she was wearing about $1 million worth of Forever Mark. So that was about it for me. I mean, I will say this: Soul winning Best Animated Movie. If you haven't seen it, it is absolutely enchanting.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It is absolutely enchanting. Daniel Kaluuya, our brother from Uganda, with his old hot, cute self, Black Panther, we stand. I wasn't too much of a fan of his red carpet look. He was wearing Prada. And because brothers, got a little, our brothers have a little, action in the action. Sometimes Prada just doesn't really work for them necessarily. Prada works better for like really, really rail thin, wavy type men, in my opinion.
Did you say action in the action? Okay.
I would have liked to see him in something else, right? I think he could have done an Oswald Botang, who is our Ghanaian brother. He could have easily done Gucci. Tom Ford, he would have looked fabulous in a Tom Ford tux, but he went with Prada because that's what young folk do. I wasn't a fan of what her had on, but serious congratulations to her and her team for best soundtrack from Judas and the Black Messiah. So, there were a lot of great things that happened on last night. I mean, we thought we were going to have a little bit more with Black and Gold with our Asian winners as well. But honestly, I think the biggest disappointment of the night was the Best Actor category. I think everyone truly thought that the Academy was not going to give it to Chadwick Boseman because he earned it.
He did earn
it. If you've seen
he played the hell out of that role.
Yes, he did.
He really earned it. So, once again, talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we still got to work on Hollywood. We still have to work on Hollywood. We salute our homeboy Tyler Perry for winning the Humanitarian Award on last night. He looked incredible, and I think he had on Tom Ford last night. He looked absolutely amazing. And then, of course, the Best Actress category. Honey, I won't even go into them bangs that Halle Berry had going on.
It was a hot mess. That was a hot mess. And I love Halle. I love her. That was a hot mess.
But horrid. The color was horrid. The dress swallowed her. The cut was super cut to JCPenney. I don't know. But
you had a COVID experience.
Honestly, God, never.
It was a whole hot mess for real.
I was hoping that we would begin. We haven't had a Black woman to win Best Actress in a leading role since Halle Berry back in 1990 something or 2000. I don't remember.
And then what was she won for then?
But she won for the movie Monster, where she's savagely raped and brutalized by a white man, this kind of thing. Yes. And so here we have Viola Davis.
Now see, I liked her dress.
Mother, who didn't win. Didn't win because once again. This I can't remember the woman's name from the movie Nomadland. She is typecast. I mean, they seem to just love her in these roles where she's playing, the white or impoverished. I mean, they seem to love that particular role. But we have work to do. We have work to do.
Well, thank you for that rundown. I talked about the Oscars today too, but it wasn't about fashion. Today I was on, I think it was Newsmax, and they were upset. They were like, "This is the most woke Oscars with nothing but hate from the left towards mainstream America." And it was like Regina King came on saying that she is glad that the outcome was the way it was. They talked about other speeches. And I was like, I don't see anything wrong with what Regina King said. Because she said if it would have been another outcome, she'd have put on her marching boots. And I said, I don't blame her. Except the difference is I keep on my marching boots. And so a lot of people just kind of looked at me like, oh, well, that's because I do. I mean, I keep them on. And so I said, the problem here is you all are tone deaf to our humanity. It's like you don't even care that this man Chauvin sat on somebody's neck, kneed on somebody's neck for them to kill it and murder him. And yet, more than half of the Republicans now feel like that was an unjust sentence for Derek Chauvin. I mean, talk to us about that. I mean, how do you think that's an unjust sentence? I mean, what do you think? Y'all continue to share. Those of y'all who are watching us tonight, I'm looking at the chat. What do you all think about the sentencing for Derek Chauvin? And today, the Republicans poll came out, and more than half of them feel like it was unjust. More than half of the Republican Party. So what say you all about that foolishness?
Well, I think it is foolish to think that it was unjust. I don't know what their reasoning is other than he's a white man who has privilege. He should have been sentenced. He should have been convicted as guilty 3 times. Being the first is the first for everything. Like we just had the first black chairman of the Stone Mountain. We now have the first first white police that's been convicted of a crime that he literally committed. Sitting there for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, he killed somebody in front of people. Why shouldn't he go and be convicted on that crime? That's crazy. Crazy talk, foolishness. That's just foolishness.
It is. Kimberly?
Well, I mean, the only thing that I have to say about that is I am still in grief about George Floyd. And I am also in grief that it takes a 10-minute video going viral internationally with 6 months of marching and protests in the street with every major Black celebrity and every major network using its social media to post the lynching of George Floyd for us to convict a white policeman, the first in the history of the state of Minnesota, of state-sanctioned execution of a Black man. And since that time, literally before we even got the verdict, 10 miles away, Dante Wright was murdered for quote unquote an air freshener, bad tags, and a 26-year veteran police officer who mistook her gun for a taser. Then before the week ended, Adam Toledo in Chicago, Illinois, was murdered with his hands up in a position of surrender with a gun that has not been produced yet. And then within 24 to 48 hours of that, Ma'Khia Bryant was murdered, 4 gunshot wounds to the chest, a 16, 15-year-old baby. And then after that, we end up with the Brown brothers. We have Andrew Brown Jr., Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and Isaiah Brown in Spotsylvania, Virginia. So to ask me if I give 2 dams and a shit about what the GOP thinks about Derek Chauvin, I have nothing, absolutely nothing for what they think.
Right.
And they're very sanctimonious right now.
They need to clean up their own house. Clean up Matt Gaetz. Clean up Josh Hawley. Clean up the orange warlock who's stuck in his rundown facility in Mar-a-Lago. Happy birthday, Melania, whatever your name is, butt naked, but you had something to say about Michelle with her arms out. And now you're talking about Dr. Jill in the fishnet. So honey, we done seen everything but that woman's damn tonsils. So I don't want to hear nothing about Melania, whatever her name is. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done. Lights out. I am just done. I'm just turning my lights out. I'm over. I'm going home. I'm on the deck. I'm done with all of this. Can I?
She turned the lights out. Okay. Please come back to us. Come back to us. She turned the lights out. She's done right now. She's done. So, but she has a valid point. With all of the tragedy that's going on, the Republicans are sanctimonious and have the audacity to say that the verdict was wrong and that we've gone too far to the left and that the progressives and the woke people are calling out the shots and they've got to get back America because we've doing too much. And I'm just so blown away by that.
One more thing before I turn my light back out.
Okay, what is
Kyle Rittenhouse, that little white SOB, killed 2 people and maimed another. Walked the streets calling people N-words, the S word, and everything else in front of police and all types of military gear, and was apprehended without even a hair on his head being removed. Yet I got these Negroes and No-Gros wanting to actually have a conversation with me about the situation at Ma'Khia Bryant's house. Are you serious? You can talk to every high school principal in this nation who has dealt with a girl fight with knives, nails, everything, okay?
You name it.
So don't tell me
Heels, bottles,
that a white boy can almost make it to the Virginia state line after murdering 9 Black people at Bible study in Emmanuel AME Church and be treated to Burger King, some fries and a shake, and apprehended without a hair on his head. I'm done. Lights out. I'm just done.
She's right. You have the lights out. What about that one who just shot up the people? Was that Colorado? And all they did was try to maim him a little bit in the bottom of his leg, not so that he would not die, enough to get him, safely to the police station. That was a murder. Wasn't that last month? Another mass murder. That was Colorado.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Amazing. It's absolutely amazing to me.
And he's still alive, right?
At the grocery store.
But he wasn't hurt. He could walk to the police car. They didn't shoot him to kill him. They were just trying to slow his ass down.
Yeah. But people get mad at me when I say, well, first of all, Public Enemy been right the whole time. 911 is a joke. But now it is a death sentence.
Right. That's right.
And so I am telling people, don't call 911.
I said that too.
But you're still in the dark.
I call the fire department before I call a police officer.
Well, that's the same number.
No, it's not. You can call the fire department directly.
You can call the police directly.
Absolutely.
Have mercy. Let's see what people are saying. Okay. So I'm going to read some things. Let's see what we have.
Okay.
Somebody said they can kick rocks. A man died. I caught the live. Yes. Okay. He is a cold-blooded murderer. He is. Yes. When I saw the video, I believed I was watching a modern day lynching because it was. Yes. And the arrogance in the officer's face, and he still has that arrogance. Even when they gave him the verdict, he was sitting there like, "Are they talking to me? What's happening? I'm going to get off." I mean, the whole thing was ridiculous.
How arrogant his ass when he walk up on all them folks.
I thought he was saying that.
You see how arrogant he is when he walk in that door and meet all them people he done locked up all these years. We'll send you some Vaseline, Derek.
They said, "Look, Cameron, they're asking you for your lights back on. Lights on. They want your lights back on."
Child,
God. I think his look was saying, remember, I'm white, Judge. I have privilege.
How dare y'all? But they said the only reason he got a guilty verdict was because they were afraid that black people was going to tear up America.
Well,
that's probably right, though. We were going to tear. I mean, they probably were going to tear up America, but it would have been rightfully justified for the tearing up of America had they let him go. Okay.
Well, I'll be honest.
Kimberly Sharnita said that you are her new BFF, and then Leslie Roberts said, do the Republicans think that it's okay for a white man to run over police, a white man chase an officer, a white man taking an officer's taser and using it on him, fighting an officer in Walmart, spitting on the officer, everything caught on camera. You can go on and on.
Right.
I mean, because they can do anything they want to do, basically, and it's okay. Or if a white child, let's say white children were out fighting in the street or racing and actually even accidentally hit somebody with a car, they would just say that was youthfulness. They weren't thinking right because they were young. But here, you jump out the car, you automatically start shooting. You didn't give them time, the girl even time to put down a knife. Really? You just got out and said, shoot. As you're saying, drop. I mean, what in the world? Many of us would have been dead. Well, y'all might not be, but I'm from West Columbia. And a lot of people that I know would have been dead, just having a fight because they would just automatically start shooting if that was the criteria. I mean, I don't. I don't understand. If you cannot police in black communities, stay your behind out of black communities.
Right.
Send some black people who understand how to deal with a situation like that. Right. Who wouldn't automatically
911. Do not call
with to shoot
911.
That's a scary thought.
This situation is heartbreaking in Spotsylvania, Virginia, where the officers had literally given him a ride home only 40 minutes before because the car had broken down. So the officers knew who he was. They knew he had been in distress.
Which case is that one, Kimberly? You talking about Anthony? I mean, which one now?
Isaiah Brown.
Oh, Isaiah.
What about the one in North Carolina?
Yeah, because he was holding a mobile phone. The house phone. It is just unbelievable. And so I don't want to hear anybody talking about I don't like police, I don't love police, and all this kind of thing, because all of us have law enforcement in our families, and friends of ours. I literally was on Barack's 21st Century Policing Commission. You can go on my page and see my pictures walking in and out of the White House and all that kind of thing, because of my abject concern for a situation that is as old as America. And these fools learned all of this here in Georgia, which began as a penal colony and was never a part of the original. One day we're going to have to talk about Georgia, because Georgia is a very interesting place for us. And the whole state of Georgia is literally soaked with the blood of Native Americans and Black people. And we don't talk about that enough.
No, we don't.
Literally soaked.
But before you go from there, Kimberly, I just want to bring up on the policing, the de-escalation process. I think they're missing a few up here when it comes to de-escalation, because it's funny how you just described how when the guy in Charleston killed, people in the church, they de-escalated that and he walked away. But then all of these other police shootings that we've been actually listening to or viewing, every one of them could have been stopped with a de-escalation. Just, do they really put enough emphasis on de-escalation, or when they get the call, do they go automatically, oh, it's a Black neighborhood, so I'm gonna go in ready to strap up, and I know that the police agency got my back? That's what it looks like. I can do whatever I want to because this zip code, this community really, I could get away with it. And I think that's what we have to start showing them, that you can't get away with it. And one, that we need to put a little bit more emphasis on de-escalation. And if we don't need to call 911, we need to figure out what number we need to call. We're going to call Kimberly.
And someone just said, they said that the man who killed the Asians.
People can call me because people can call me because I love everybody.
Okay.
So they can call me. I am a trained mediator. So
well,
call me. Don't call 911. It's a
well, you know what? I'm going to call 911, depending on what the issue is, because but before I even call 911, depending on what the issue is, I have all types of weapons. Because if it's something that I feel that it warrants the police being called, I probably can handle that myself without them calling. The only thing I really need 911 for is an ambulance, and if my damn house burning down. Because they come in, because I have a prowler or somebody breaking in, their ass gonna get shot. Is what they're going in.
They're not coming out alive.
They're gonna get shot.
But now,
so I don't know what else to say, because they might come. I don't call the police. They might think I'm gonna broke into my own house. So I'm gonna call 911 for the ambulance and for the fire people. Any type of domestic disturbances, I will handle that on my own. Mm-hmm. That's where I am right now, because I'm not gonna say somebody breaking in my house. I'm gonna be calling somebody is dead in my house. What happened, ma'am? I shot them.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, someone said, but when the Asians, when the man killed the Asians, they said he was having a bad day. You see what I'm saying? So they come up with excuses of why they can do what they want to do. They took him in peace. When they finally got him, it was peaceful. I don't understand. Someone said, Christy, tonight Roland Martin showed the dispatcher transcripts. It was a very ugly fight between Isaiah and his brother. Okay. And so, but now he's dead.
What does that have to do with Isaiah being dead?
I was about to say, but now he's dead.
What does it have to do with Isaiah being dead?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happens, honey. You're going to die. If you have a fake $20 bill, if you argue with your sibling, whatever's going on, you're going to die if you black. You're going down.
I don't care about details.
You're going to die if you're black.
About details.
That's a good point, Kimberly. That's a good point. That the details.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because what happens is, who would have thought that a supposedly a counterfeit $20 bill will lead to somebody being in your neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds? Hell, they could have gave him $20. But had we focused more on public safety, people, police in the community that look like us and understand could have said, now why you got a fake $20 bill? And could have wrote him a citation or said, give me that money and go somewhere and sit down and have a conversation. It's not like he was flooding the market with thousands and thousands of dollars. Even if he was, that's not a death sentence. That is let's go in and let's talk about why you did that or go home or something. Not let me try to tackle you and put you in the car for $20. See, I couldn't be a police officer. I would be there and gave people the money. If I was policing the community. If it's
do I need to go deeper into the camera to let people know? I don't give a damn what the details are.
Turn your light back out. Turn them out. So anyway, lights out.
Hey, girl. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Well, they were trying to explain the situation.
I'm just saying.
Keep the lights out. Keep the lights out.
Our people are the only people that we need details to the debauchery that's done to them.
That's right. We are the only ones asked for details.
We need details.
Oh my goodness. Somebody, and look. So they turn your lights back on. Some people say turn your lights back on.
Clear with you. They can defund it tomorrow, and we're gonna be all right. Okay.
People listen.
Reimagine it. We've got.
They don't want to hear that, honey.
No more about. We need to do extra training.
Yeah.
Because do you know how much professional development we burden teachers with year in and year out? And we are still getting the same results on the back end in terms of the education of our children.
Ooh.
So, child, people need to know. I don't give two damns and one shit.
Two damns
details.
That girl hot.
Care about.
We need to
care about.
She really is some truth.
Tax-paying dollars
right.
pay for the cars to be wrapped that say to protect and serve.
That's
now,
right.
We need to change the wording to say to protect and serve white folk only. Then that's what we need to do. But at this point,
it's very clear. It's very clear.
At this point, don't tell me about no details.
No details.
Tell me about who did what when. Tell that I'll argue with your mammy. How's that?
And this is why we love Kimberly Carter. She said, argue with your mammy.
No,
okay,
mammy.
You know, this is
I said argue with your mammy. I said argue.
Not argue. Argue with your mammy. Okay. So I tell you what, this is gonna be the show. People are gonna be sharing this for sure. I want you to come out of the darkness. Come back into the light right now. I'm taking you out of time now. Come back into the light. Come back into the light. So anyway, we have talked about the case, but what about that case in North Carolina today when it took so long for them to share the footage and then say, oh, we have to redact it. Oh, because there might be some faces on there that don't need to be seen. And how in the hell did Ben Crumb get to North Carolina today?
That quick, right?
Automatic. I said, Lord, he running. The attorney was trying to do the press conference and Crumb telling him what to say to my. Why they gotta redact it? Why they gotta redact it? I was like, this is comedy for me.
They only share with the family 20 seconds of the video.
Yes. And that was enough for them to say they saw them yelling at him at the same time. They were shooting him in the back of his head. So I guess he was doing something dangerous for you all to come and shoot him in the back of his head. I mean, I'm not understanding that. Why? Because you're really not supposed to be shoot people in their back, period. So I want to hear the justification of this. I can't wait to see the rest of the footage.
This is crazy. They said it was 10 people and they only showed out one video?
Yes. And they redacted a little bit that they did show. But you can't change the fact that he had his hands on the steering wheel and you shot him in his head. Okay. So this is going to be another one of these crazy cases that we're going to be dealing with here in America. People are on here typing Arga, Kimberly. They write Arga, okay?
How do they spell that?
Arga. Kimberly, how you spell Arga? They have ARGA. They don't have everything.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
I can't do it, Kimberly. No one can. But we need these conversations. Okay, what else is going on, y'all? We had a whole list of things we were supposed to be talking about today.
Yeah, I forgot what the other one.
I forgot that we're dedicating the show to our beloved Samuels.
That's right. Okay, so everybody, Rita Samuels was a stalwart here in Georgia and the nation. She was one of the first Black women to work for Governor Jimmy Carter at that time. And then when he went to the White House, Rita went as well, Rita Jackson Samuels. And she was the founder of the Commission of Women in Georgia. And then she also founded the Black Women, Commission on Black Women here in Georgia. So both of y'all have some Rita Samuels stories you'd like to tell?
Yeah, I actually had the honor of being recognized with her Women's History Month here in Lithonia at the Lou Walker Center. She's a great woman. She actually told me that I should run for office. And I'm like, I don't even know this lady. I don't know her like that. I don't know her like everybody else, but I do have some pictures with her. And then when she passed away, it was like, oh my God, like you've known this lady forever. She reminded me of my grandparents, and then the wisdom that she had, and the way she comes and take over the room is one of the key things too. But she's a woman of her word, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, and she's not ashamed to actually say that. And I'm saying it like she's still here because I feel like she's still here. But yeah, I really love that lady. She's a great inspiration for Black women to do anything that we want to do.
Thank you, Kimberly.
I think it's important for all Georgians who are watching us and listening to us tonight to know that that Rita Samuels is the reason for why we have a Georgia Commission on Women. It is a line item in our state budget designed to study the impact that our lives here in Georgia are impacted by, how our lives as women are impacted here in Georgia. And I will forever be in her debt. In this new role that I'm in as the executive director of Represent Georgia, and we're launching our Ready to Run orientations this year, I really thought about Rita and how she was always encouraging and recruiting people to run for office, to do public service, to offer themselves as servants, servant leaders to the community. So I'm so glad, Dee, that you reminded us of her birthday and to speak her name tonight. So Rita Samuels, we speak your name.
And I'm so glad we were talking about this earlier. And Rita was bossy, and she was matter of factly, and she let me tell you something. She did not play with the Democratic Party. Do y'all remember this is 2018? 2014, 5 Black women was on the ballot in Georgia. Mm-hmm. And the Democratic Party did not want to get behind the 5 Black women. Baby, when I tell you that Rita Jackson Samuels set it off all the way from making Dublin, we were in Dublin, I think Dublin for the conference, the Democratic Party launch of their campaigns, all the way up to election day, talking about how disrespectful it was for them not to support Black women. Because, Rita used to have the van and the buses that would go around the state before we even had the Black Voter Matters buses. We had the Black Women Run, Black Women Participation buses that Rita had around this state. And one of the reasons why I ran for Secretary of State, what I did in 2018, was Rita told me, she didn't ask me, she told me I was running for Secretary of State. And she really wanted to duplicate another 5 Black women. And then, the Lord, she left it to be with the Lord before the election could even take place. But luckily in 2017, I was able to recommend her for honorary doctoral degree, along with another one of my friends who has Trinity International University of Ambassadors, Dr. Jacqueline Mohan. We were able to honor her, and Jordana Clayton and C.T. Vivian and Juanita Abernathy, and all of them. It was great. We had 2 graduations within a week, and all of these people were honored with honorary doctorates. And so that was a blessing. And she was so happy. And she said, I need y'all to understand and call me Dr. Rita Samuel, Dr. Rita Jackson Samuel. So we're going to miss her. And it is a bust of her. I guess not a bust, but a statue of her.
Yes, in the park.
In the park. Y'all, it is a lovely thing. They put several Black women statues in the park. I'm going to tell you where this park is located, but it's a beautiful thing to see, and we're glad to see that. So hopefully in 2022, in the memory of Rita Jackson Samuels, maybe more Black women will be running statewide, because I really believe there's strength and power when Black women run for office, because we saw what happened even when Stacey ran for governor. People around the country were excited at the idea of any Black woman being the first, governor, a woman being, governor in the United States of America. That is an idea whose time has already come. And here we are in 2021, and we still have not had a Black woman governor, and we need to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because where we are right now, Emily's List, which is the foremost organization that raises money and fundraises and does all kinds of other amazing things for pro-choice women who run for federal and state office. Recently endorsed Jennifer Carroll Foy, who could be the first Black woman governor of the state of Virginia. She's, of course, running against Clintonista Terry McAuliffe, but she is showing a lot of fundraising strength. She has a lot of progressive and youth power behind her. So we've just got to make sure that we continue to support her.
But is that election this year?
That's this year in Virginia. Then you come down a little bit way to South Carolina, where we have State Senator Mia McLeod, who's a very good friend of our Dr. D,
Yes.
who has announced that she is going to run for governor of South Carolina. And then you come just a little bit farther, and you go all the way down in that Sunshine State.
The Black women doing it.
A woman who's a congresswoman and a former police chief in the city of Orlando, the Val Demings, announced that she is in prayerful consideration of either challenging that trash Marco Rubio or the trash squared Ron DeSantis governor. So either way, we are in
exciting time.
Amazing moments. We are in
exciting time.
We're in some exciting times for our dear sisters. And I heard our good friend Dr. Jason Johnson talking about today some reports, and I think it may have come from the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund, that the top two police engagements that turn badly at traffic stops in this country on an economic basis is Black men, number one, and professional, well-educated Black women were number two on the list. And I plan to look at that a little bit more, because I think that is very, very interesting, especially as we see how the GQP, or what are they now? The Grand QAnon Party? I don't even know. What are they now? Whatever they are.
White supremacist group.
Well, thank you, darling. How they are, very, how they are driven by attacking Black women in leadership, the Black women nominees that President Biden has nominated. They've been giving them quite a time. All of the women of color nominees. So don't let these white evangelicals fool you about how they feel about the LGBTQ plus, because Pete Buttigieg got a whole husband and they sent him his nomination right on through, okay? But every woman of color, whether East Indian, Asian, Black, they have had problems with. We are waiting right now even for Kristen Clark's nomination to be the first Black woman to lead the Civil Rights Division. And baby, I'll stop.
Go ahead, finish it out.
You can stop it.
Because I see my beautiful Rosamonda Peggy Butler down there, and it just struck me because she's such a blessing, and it just struck me just how God works in our lives. How Merrick Garland was denied the opportunity to be on the Supreme Court, right? I think about times in my life when God has denied me something, and I didn't understand at the time that He was setting me up for some purpose, setting me up.
You better preach
some justice into some spaces. And today, this past week, Merrick Garland has not only challenged the Minneapolis Police Department on their patterns and practices, but today, on the behalf of our dear sister Breonna Taylor, he, Breonna Taylor, he added the Louisville, Kentucky Police Department to his list on patterns and practices. Merrick Garland will go down in history for being one of the most impressive attorney generals that this nation has had.
He will.
It gave me chills for him to order these patterns and practices.
He will. But you know what? And I have to be, in all fairness, because he is doing a great job. He really is starting off great. But I think the language and the way in which President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris are rolling out their expectations, he had no choice but to almost fall in line and go with where the country is going, because we elected those people for a reason. And he was appointed for a reason. And I am glad they're showing up. Which brings me to another conversation I had last night. The Harvard poll of young people 18 to 29 and how they perceive the job that President Joe Biden is doing, and how in 2020, March of 2020, they were not feeling Joe Biden. But by the time he was elected, even by October, November, they started to see hope. And now they say that the numbers, the approval ratings are out off the roof, off the chain, the Richter scale for President Joe Biden now. And it's very impressive that they said finally young people have hope in this country. Wow. And I told them one of the reasons why we tied all that crazy stuff that Trump was doing, tweeting all night, morning, we couldn't really get in the mess and the trauma behind it all. That was really traumatic. And then we had COVID, then we had racism. And I told them, because they said that a lot of young people now contemplating suicide. That was the flip side too. The numbers are higher. I said, you had all of these things happening at one time. And this country is going to need a massive healing, and we need to put more dollars into mental health counseling. And because we are all experiencing traumatic stress.
Yes.
And so the post-traumatic, the PTSD is going to be so real after racism, COVID, and Donald Trump all mixed together, and the Proud Boys and everything else, and police shooting people. Hell, it's a lot. So the stress is there. Yeah. And so I'm glad that people are going to be going into the mental health field. We need to start encouraging people to go into the mental health field. And I'm glad that my daughter is, even though she's in medical school right now, y'all pray for her, because Kristen is in her 3rd year of medical school. She'll be finishing it out in like a week. Next should be her final year. Then she had that MD behind her name, but she is going to focus in psychiatry. And I'm telling y'all, we're going to need some people who can not just sit down and talk to you like a psychologist would, but as some psychiatrists, because some people have to get some medication behind this and some real advanced therapy, and not just the basics, because it's a lot that's happened in this country.
Absolutely.
A lot. Okay, what else we got going, y'all? So Rita Jackson Samuels, we love you. We speak your name. Thank you, Kimberly Carter, for sending me that picture today with that great banner that we got to see honoring her. We love it, because her birthday was on yesterday, and we love her.
Yes.
Who else we got? Because we only have like 3 minutes. What y'all want to say in the last 3 minutes tonight?
Just a brief update on the boycott. Since the press conference that was done, was it a week or two ago? 1 week? Was it a week? Or 2 weeks? I don't know.
Somebody about to turn the light out again. She about to turn the light out again.
Okay. The boycott. We got this boycott going on. So let me tell you. So in our NAACP meeting, I kind of went over that. Now, people was like, NAACP is doing a boycott. NAACP is not doing a boycott. The boycott is being led by the faith leaders to encourage corporate America to meet with them to discuss social justice and racial issues. So that's the corporate boycott that's going on. And then the
is it a boycott? And does anybody know that we in the middle of a boycott? Like, y'all recall at the beginning, I was like, all gung ho, we having a boycott.
Right.
And we're up, down, side to side. We're boycotting Home Depot right now. Is that what we're doing? Boycotting Home Depot?
Yeah.
Or not? But they told us we're not boycotting. If they sit down and have a conversation with that group of preachers, that small little group of preachers, then there's no longer a boycott. Correct? Is that what I'm understanding? Because I don't even know no more. I'm confused now.
Y'all very confused. Well, it's confusing. I think the outlook of boycotting, if you look at it and do it strategically, it can work. However, like I said I forgot the last meeting, the way this one is organized is not going to work.
But I'm asking, what is it right now? Because we heard a press conference the other day, and I still don't know what I heard. Some people got up and said we're boycotting. Some people got up and said if you meet with us, we're not boycotting. If you have a conversation, I don't know what we're doing, which means other people don't know what we're doing. What are we doing? First, we were in front of Coca-Cola. I mean, then some people's in front of Delta Airlines. Now you're in front of Home Depot, but she done closed her whole screen. That darn Kimberly Carter, she didn't black out. She didn't just turn the light. She done blacked out. Y'all pray for me. This is what I have to deal with.
I'm just reporting what has happened. To your point, I don't believe we're in a boycott because the boycott is really sacrificial. And if you're really going to do anything, you need to do it. You can't do it based on whether you meet with somebody. You need to do a boycott if you're going to do a boycott, but you need to set your demands and go with them. So that's just my 2 cents on boycotting. But the boycott demands that were discussed in the press conference have not been met.
She's back. And I'm not opposed to boycotts because I was pushing it in the beginning. The part I did my part with Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson when we said, don't bring any sports teams. Mm-hmm. I mean, any big sporting events or entertainers to Georgia to do anything. I understood that we were very clear in our demands. Mm-hmm. Then we started on this boycott that's up and down. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. But I'm all for a boycott because the only thing they understand is when we take our money away. Right. And we got to stop letting people, push over us and treat us like nothing. And I'm going to be very clear with you. Black people, our memory is very short. So some people already got over the fact that it's a messed up bill that has been passed in the Georgia General Assembly. Right, some people have already gotten past that because now it's time to, we're getting close to summertime. Mother's Day coming up, Father's Day, children getting out of school. It's going to be hot. So now it's already off your mind. Oh, well. No, it's not an oh, well. We've got to stay on top of this, but we've got to have a succinct, clear message about where we go from here. And if it's a boycott, then let us boycott. If it's just corporate responsibility, that's fine. But whatever we're doing, let's do it together so we don't look all over the place. Kimberly, you're back.
Come on, Kimberly.
Do you have anything? What say you about the boycott?
I have nothing to say.
She's going to black out again on us. She's going to black out again.
Kimberly said, I have no words.
She's going to black out on us again. Okay. So anybody, y'all have anything else? She said, join us for our Ready to Run. Thank you. She did put that in the chat. Anyone else have?
I'm only interested in bold, progressive people who love our community running for office, because we can solve a lot of these problems with flipping some seats and removing some people from office.
It's a whole lot of people
have not served our people, our community, or our interests.
That's true.
And that's with both of the team jerseys on. That's with both of the team jerseys on.
Well,
that's all I have to say.
And we appreciate it. So again, Teresa Hardy, Kimberly Carter, I'm Dawkins-Haigler. We appreciate you all coming in for a little Black Girl Chit Chat. Next week, same time, same place. No telling what we're gonna have next week. Honey, Kimberly may have props, honey. And she's gonna have us. having a good time. Share it. Please tell people about it. And even when this is over tonight, y'all, please just share it one time for us. You don't even have to keep it on your page. Just share it for a day or two and tell others so that we can build up our viewership, because this is very important to us. And we, in order to get people engaged in the conversation, we have to have viewership. So we would greatly appreciate it. And we thank you all for joining us on tonight. We could not do this without you, but trust me, this is how the three of us talk all day, every day. So we could have been on the phone with each other, but we wanted to share all of our shenanigans with you all. So thank you again. And remember, Kimberly Carter, tell them the website one more time so that they'll know how to.
www.repgeorgia.org. Come on down. DJ Lily Smalls is going to be on the 1s and 2s. We have some giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, you know what? I forgot to announce that Delta Sigma Theta, my chapter store, my Lithonia, is having a Run Girl Run series on May the 3rd. Girl Run, May the 3rd. For more information, go to the SMLAC Stone Mountain Lithonia Alumni Chapter, Delta Sigma Theta, and get the flyer. Or you can go to my Facebook page. I will post that flyer. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post it on my page, share it so that you all will see it. And then I'm going to share Rep Georgia's flyer for Kimberly. And we want to see y'all in the place because we need more women leading the way. That's all I have for you tonight. That's all we've got. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you again next Monday. Until then, peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.